No one carries a rattle gun whilst they're travelling around Australia.
Is it a bitch?
Oh yeah! Might need to think the cable tie idea. Probably get some 4-ton shackles. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Journey Unknown. I'm Troy. Laura's at work. I'm hard at it, changing hitches, and that's the purpose of this episode. It's all about the hitch for your caravan. So if it's something you're interested in, I'm also going to give you a little bit of a rundown on our new draw system, the Tanami draw system that we had installed, and the costs and the figures. If that's something that you wanted to do to your vehicle, then by all means, hopefully this episode helps. So we're going to get stuck straight into it. All right, now the hitch. We've done many reviews on the Kurt Rebellion hitch. Once again, we are not sponsored by anyone, so take it from our personal experience, what's worked for us. And that's all we can tell you guys. Doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone or their car or their vehicle. So all we can do is let you know about our experiences and what has worked and what really hasn't worked, and the direction that we have to go in thus far. Not to mention that it's something that we don't really want to go down the road, but this is what we have to do for legal reasons. So the Kurt Rebellion hitch, 4.5 ton towing, got the DO45 pin on there. We previously had the DO35, but our caravan has now gone up to 4.5 ton, and our vehicle has just been upgraded with the Lovells upgrade of a 4-ton towing. All right, so the Kurt Rebellion, absolutely love it. It's just simple. I know of a lot of people that have got them now, really good. They work really well. They're so compact. There's minimal things that can go wrong with them, and you can change it from a 4.5 ton towing to 3.5 ton towing. It's just changing the tongues. It's a 75mm pin, or the DO35, which is believe is a 50mm pin. Okay, so that's that. Can't talk about that highly enough. Once again, 100% not sponsored or affiliated or getting paid to say that. That's just from our experiences of taking that up to the Ningaloo Reef, through Tom Price, up through Broome, Northern Territory. Love it, right? Now, which brings me on to the Lovells side of things. As I mentioned, we had to upgrade our vehicle from a 3.5 ton towing to a 4-ton towing, and we also increased the GVM and the GCM. The GVM is a 4.2 ton, and the GCM is 7,800, I believe. It was 7.7, but it's gone to 7.8 for the GCM. There's many different people that are going to jump on and go, oh, you're going to void your warranty and all that sort of stuff. I've had warranty issues with the car. Admittedly, there haven't been engine failures or drive shaft or anything like that. So once again, I'm only talking from my experience. So don't shoot the messenger, so to speak. Everyone's different. Everyone drives differently. There's so many different reasons why your engine could blow. One is weight, of course. 2 is your engine oil. You can change that. So anyway, I'm going off into a bit of a rant here, but thus far we regularly service our car. Never had an issue. We don't expect to have issues, and if we do, we'll deal with them then, and we'll let you know straight away. Like, we don't hide anything. So as mentioned, we've gone down to the 4-ton towing, and to do that, you have your GVM upgrade, your GCM upgrade from Lovells. You pay your 6,800, which I did, and then they didn't have the towing upgrade at that stage. We were probably one of the first ones to get the GVM upgrade. So that is now available and has been available for some time now. So once we'd received our van, we realised our weights are going to be near the 4-ton mark or below. We thought, let's just be safe and upgrade the towing hitch as well, rather than being right on our limits, so to speak. So we've done that. Now, to do that, that's an extra cost as well. That's $4,800. $4,800? Yeah, $4,730. There you go. Most people want to know what things cost and stuff, and is it expensive? Hell yeah, it's very expensive considering you've already dropped 6,800. A lot of people will say you might as well have gone J-Max or whatever. Probably right. But at the end of the day, that's what we've done, and that's what we're talking about today. So am I happy about it? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? You're just trying to stay within your legal requirements and being safe out on the road. That's our number one priority. And you'll spend all the money in the world to do that. If you don't do that and you're out on the road and something happens, then you probably wish that you did the right thing and got it all ticked off. So that's what we've done, which will bring me on to the coupling and the setup that Lovells require you to do to be compliant with their upgrade. Now, they've got a bit of a handle on the market here because even though that's a 4.5 tonne towing hitch, the Kurt Rebellion, legally, because Lovells have done the engineering on the vehicle, they've engineered their own hitch, they require you to have their hitch, and that's why it's so expensive. But you're basically paying $4,000 for a hitch, really, at the end of the day. And they might, it's got to get re-engineered, so I'm assuming that costs about $700 or something. So that's where we're at there. So yeah, stage 2 towing upgrade of 4 tonne state compliant engineering. Okay. So that's what we're paying for. All right. So what do we got in the boxes? Let's have a look. What do we got here? We start off. This is the towing tongue and the hitch. One thing I'll say is that you can see the nuts are a little bit burred on this hitch here, and that's because that was done up that tight. You needed to be Hercules to undo it. I literally had a breaker bar on it. I had a pole on it. So I contacted Lovells and asked them, and he goes, "Oh no, we just do it up tight. They've got to be tight." That's what he told me over the phone. And I said, "Yeah, mate, but I can't get it undone. It's literally like there's Loctite on there." No, we've just done it up with a rattle gun. Have you got a rattle gun? I was like, mate, no one carries a rattle gun whilst they're travelling around Australia. Long story short, I've taken it around to my mechanic and he struggled to get it off with his big rattle gun, but he got it off. Anyway, that was one little bit of a gripe that I had. That was that. So there you go. That's the new tongue. The other thing I'm going to do in this episode is give you the weights and show you the difference of weights between the Kurt Rebellion and the Lovells hitch to be compliant. We've got the DO45, which is the original hitch, the Cruise Master. I can't fault those things. Like we just didn't have an issue whatsoever with the DO35. So it's just a simple system, drop down, click, you're in. All right, the haulage part, here we go. We'll open this one up first. What do we got? Okay, so this is the coupling that's got to go directly on here. Okay, so we need to change that one out, which I'll do once again to be compliant. I believe this box here is the weight distribution bars. Let's have a look. Get that open. Okay, so yeah, that's the weight distribution bars. Oh, geez, they weigh a tonne as well. So we'll weigh those as well, and we'll get the total weight of everything, and then we'll let you know the difference between those. But the weight distribution bars are basically for anything towing. They recommend anything towing over 3.7 tonne. We're not going to be near that figure. We'll be under that, and so I can't see myself putting those on. Once again, we'll go out and we'll do some testing. We'll make sure the van's tracking correctly behind the vehicle, and it's a bit of trial and error, and just see where you're at, whether or not the van's swaying or not. But I can't see ourselves using those. It's going to add extra ball weight to your vehicle, and that's something that we don't really want to do. All right, what have we got in here? The handbrake. Okay. This is the handbrake. So this gets replaced right here. Okay. So we'll work out how to connect that all up. That's a must. And these are this is the short drop hitch. Now this must be another adjustable part. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's the short drop. So in retrospect, I really probably should have this short drop on the vehicle, because as you can see, the long drop will stick down quite low from the vehicle. So similar to this, it'll stick right down here when our tongue's up the top here. So we'll probably change that over. Well, that'll save us a tiny bit of weight anyway. So luckily I got those nuts undone. But anyway, that's the gist of it. That's what we have to do to be compliant with the Lovells upgrade, the towing upgrade. I do feel for people that are not 100% handy with this sort of stuff, because it's basically, here's the sticker on your car, here's the box of goodies that you have to use, go and put it on your caravan and your car. And I know it's just bolt on, but it's got to be done properly, you know. You can't have these things coming loose or anything like that. And it's very difficult to undo, like we've found out, undo a lot of these nuts. So if you're not fully capable of changing it over yourself, then enlist the help of a caravan repair shop or something, or a mechanic or whatever. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. I've done enough yambling, and then I'm going to talk about the draw system once I've changed all this hitch over. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the weight distribution bars. Let's see what we got here. Now this is probably not going to be perfect, but it's going to give you a bit of an idea. Okay, 22 kilos 50, all right? That's quite significant. Okay, let's try the tongue. It's 24 kilos. Okay, now the coupling. 1830. 18 kilos. I've changed the tongue, or changed the hitch actually to the shorter length hitch. So that should save us about a few kilos anyway. I'm just about to weigh up the Kurt Rebellion hitch with the DO45 coupling, and I can tell already it's going to be significantly lighter than the Lovells setup. What I'll do is I'll weigh these now, and then I'll put the new coupling on, the new Lovells coupling, and then we'll be right. Okay? It should be all systems go. But I've read a lot up about these and spoken to a lot of people at caravan shows, and they've got this particular coupling, and if you don't select it properly straight onto that ball, you know, it can lock on, it can, you know, you've got to grease it up all the time so it doesn't lock on. The coupling has broken at times, so it's only going off what I've heard. I haven't experienced it yet, but there's no reason why people would bullshit to me, so we'll just see how it all pans out and how it goes. Obviously it's all under warranty and stuff like that, so if something was to break with the coupling, Lovells will replace that straight away. It's just the annoying part of it, you know, like it's just, you could be in the middle of nowhere and something happens, but we're talking hypotheticals at the moment, so we won't worry about that. We'll get all this sorted up, put back together. I'm going to Loctite this coupling on as well, just to be a bit safer. Line it all up, we'll fit it onto the car, and we'll see how she rolls. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot heavier, which is a shame. All right, let's try the Kurt Rebellion with the tongue, and it's exactly the same as the Lovells setup. just so we get the right weights, the right measurements, so to speak. The box is getting a bit hairy going. Okay. All right, 18.6 kilos. Okay. That's for that setup there. All right, let's give the coupling a go. Okay, 11.5. So that is significantly different to the Lovells. 11.5 kg. All right. I'll calculate that up and I'll show you the difference. So that's going to significantly change your ball weight. We're going to have to reweigh the caravan. We're also we're going to get a wheel alignment done to make sure that that's all Mickey Mouse. We don't want to be ripping through tyres. When you do pick up your caravan, get it weighed, get the wheel alignment done, and you're good to go. That way you know. So now we're changing hitches and stuff. We'll reweigh it just to make sure we're within our limits and we're right. And there you have it. She's all hooked up. Now there's 2 more provisions for an extra couple of bolts, just here and here, which I'll put in down the track. It's getting a bit late in the day at the moment, so I've got a few other things to do, but the handbrake's hooked up. I'm still going to look a little bit more into that because it seems a bit like wobbly, and I don't like the look of that, so there might be another trick to it. I've gone through the specifications and the diagrams aren't that great, to be fair. Anyway, nevertheless, it's on. We've got the tow ball, hitch, tongue hooked up, ready to drop on. Once again, I'm not going to drop it on just yet because I want to just triple check. I've heard that these do break under here if you don't set this up correctly. I think this part here has to be on a bit of an angle so it doesn't collide with this, and then it swings back around and locks into place. Anyway, I'll read up a bit more about that. If you guys out there have a Lovells hitch, let us know what your thoughts are on them. So far they seem a little bit incumbent to use, but I haven't used one yet, so I've just got to see how it goes. Bit of trial and error. So that brings me on to what they weigh, the pros and cons of the Lovells hitch compared to the Kurt Rebellion hitch. And the calculations tell me that the Lovells hitch, the tongue is 24 kilos, the coupling is 18.3 kilos, and the weight distribution bars are 22 kilos. So that's a total, if you use all of that together, that's a total of 64 kilos. It's quite heavy. If you're towing under 3.7 tonne, you don't need the sway bars, so to speak, so you can run it at 42 kilos, okay? Now the Kurt Rebellion hitch, still a 4.5 tonne towing capacity. We can't tow that because our towing capacity is only 4 tonne and we want to be well under that anyway. But the Kurt Rebellion hitch the tongue weighs 18.6 kilos, and the DO45 hitch weighs 11.5 kilos, so that's around about 30 kilos. So you're looking at a 12 kilo difference without the weight distribution bars, and but if you put those weight distribution bars on, it's substantially higher. So you've got to keep that in mind when you've got your tow ball weights to worry about and everything else. So we're going to see how this goes because significantly higher in the weights, but it's regulation, yeah. Anyway, that brings me on to the Tanami draw system that I got the guys down at Caram to fit out my draw system. Waited a few months to get that done because they're always quite busy. Once again, not sponsored, didn't get it for free, paid the full price, and I'm wrapped with the outcome of it. It's come up unbelievable. They've done a really good job. I supplied the fridge, the battery, the inverter, the 2000 watt inverter. I've got a 200 amp hour battery that I've always had from day dot. Evercool fridge. The other thing they fitted was the compressor. So I've got an ARB twin compressor, and that just goes straight here. So very neat job. The fridge is nice and neat, and just love it. Absolutely love it. The drawers, awesome. If you're new to the channel, I've had a Tanami drawer before. It's literally at the back there somewhere, and that's quite a large drawer that we had in the back here, and I never had any issues with it. They do carry a bit of weight, but this drawer is a lot narrower, and it just means we carry less stuff, so to speak. So I think we just got some Coco's lead and some tools, which I'll do a tool episode down the track of what I'm going to take on our next big trip. Which brings me onto this side. All right, so we've got your standard USB with a C input for your phones and stuff. We've got a meter here that tells us we've got 13.3 amps and 100% battery, and we have a cigarette point here. This is to turn the inverter on and off, and this is the power for the inverter, and some solar inputs for solar charge, and also if we wanted to use an Anderson to run power somewhere or whatever. So yeah, absolutely wrapped with it. What did it cost? It costs $5,045. It all adds up, you know, like it's quite interesting how people just think just because you're on YouTube you get everything for free. It's not the case. We never ask anyone that we deal with, we absolutely never ask for any discount or anything like that. We just go and pay for it, because I run a small business. I know what it's like. I know how hard it is, and if they've got a good product, they deserve it to be shown. So you pay what it costs, and that's what it is. If you don't like the price, just don't go somewhere else. There's a lot of other drawer manufacturers out there that are not as expensive. Is the quality as good? I don't know. I've never used it, but all I can say, I've tried them and they're great. They're really good. It hurts to hit pocket, but the quality remains as the price is long forgotten, as King Billy always seems to tell me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for this episode. So thanks again, guys. If you've got any questions or queries, just hit us up, and I'm happy to get back to you. Yeah, and let us know what you think about the Lovells Hitch, and just the upgrades in general. It'd be interesting to hear what people's thoughts are, because we've had the GVM for a while now, and I think the GVM's great. I think the GCM's great. Everything's really good. There's a few things they could improve on, like any business. So we'll leave it at that. Absolutely love the Kurt Rebellion Hitch. If you got one of them, they're bloody ripper. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.
Is it a bitch?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, it's going to take a lot to get used to. You basically, this plate here has to be on the angle. Okay, so this is where it locks in, but you can't drop it down directly like that, because it hits this and it's going to break this part, and I think that's what's happened with a lot of other people. So you have to position this part first, get it perfectly in line, drop the whole thing down, let it click in place, then swing the arm back around, and then put your split pin, which is fallen on the ground here. You put your $2 split pin in, and then you lock it in place. Then, when you want to undo it, you take this out, you spin this to the side again, like this, then you slowly go up, then you've got to grab this tool, which, because you'll carry that everywhere you go, and then you just put it on here, and then you just twist it so then it just pops up, and it's like Thank you, mother,
But
for
what's
the rabbits.
that? What's that doing? So,
It opens these up.
right.
Opens
So
the
can you
claws.
do that again? Right. That's what it's doing. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you before in the car. I go, there's these two things.
Yeah. Well, lucky you're around, darling.
Hold on. So they, when you can you. I'm
So
not
this
gonna
goes right down and
clips under there.
Clips
So.
under here. That's what locks it in.
Okay. Stop. So now you're just above that lip.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to open that to do that. It'll just
You
fall
reckon?
in. Yeah, it'll just fall in
Right,
place,
okay.
right? It's more when you see,
Ah, okay.
clips over.
Yep.
It's more when you want to undo it.
Then wait. Then shut this
So then you've got to shut this thing.
and put the pin
And it
in.
won't go down until this is fully shut that there. And then you put your $2.50 split pin in. This would have cost them a fortune to manufacture and engineer.
And that's locked in.
Alright, so the deal is you remove the split pin. Do not lose that. Cruise to the douche. Push this to the side so it's away from,
Basically in line.
yeah,
Past this line.
yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
And then you want to twist that. See how you open them?
Yeah.
You can use the tool or you use your hand.
But it's greasy, isn't it?
You've got to, I'll show you in a sec, but see how that's open? Now I can lift this up. Now, you've got to keep it open.
It's not open.
There you go. She's open. So you've got to use two hands. You've got to watch your little fingies. Okay. Now that's off. And then what you want to do also is keep this thing greased right up. Put plenty of grease on here because apparently these have been locking on. And then you're good to go.
Like how?
Or you might need to think the cable tie idea. Probably get some 4-ton shackles. Anyway, time will tell. We'll let you know how it goes over the next couple of months with towing. One thing it does do, it keeps the van very level with the car, so we're not going to need airbags, which is one positive, I suppose. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, geez, that's heavy. Hey, Goose. You come to say hello. So yeah, let's wrap it up. That's done and dusted. Thanks again for tuning in.